Before achievement ever shows up in the physical world, it begins in the mind as a conviction. Everything you see around you, the buildings, the businesses, the technology, even the smallest invention, first existed in someone's imagination before it became a reality. The truth is, your life today is nothing more than the outer expression of your inner belief system. What you are living now is the fruit of what you believed yesterday. And if you want to change the harvest of your life, you must first change the seed of belief that you plant in your mind. Belief is the foundation upon which all success is built. If you believe that you are capable, resourceful, and equipped to win, then you will show up differently in life. You will take risks that others avoid. You will persevere when others quit, and you will expect opportunities where others only see obstacles. On the other hand, if you secretly believe that you are unworthy, unlucky, or incapable, then no matter how many chances come your way, you will sabotage them because your inner world cannot accept what your outer world is trying to hand you. That's why two people can be given the same opportunity, yet one person thrives while the other fails. The difference is not in the opportunity, but in the belief system guiding the person. Belief is powerful because it doesn't just affect your thoughts, it shapes your actions. A person who believes they are destined to win will prepare differently, will speak differently, and will carry themselves with a quiet confidence that opens doors. A belief radiates. It can be seen in your posture, in your tone, in your decisions. People are naturally drawn to someone who believes in themselves because belief inspires trust. When you carry conviction in your heart, others can feel it without you ever needing to announce it. But here's the secret many people overlook. Belief does not come after success, it comes before it. Too many people wait for proof, for evidence, for some kind of external validation before they dare to believe. They want to see results before they allow themselves to be convinced. But that's not how life works. You don't see the crop before planting the seed. You don't hold the harvest before tilling the soil. You must first believe with no evidence, with no guarantee, and sometimes with nothing more than a whisper of faith before anything begins to shift in your life. This is why doubt is so destructive. Doubt is the enemy of destiny because it weakens your faith in the unseen. Doubt whispers that your dream is too big, that you're not qualified, that you're too late, or that you failed too many times. And the tragedy is not that doubt shows up. It will always show up. The tragedy is when people believe doubt more than they believe in their own vision. The person who gives their ear to doubt eventually gives their future away. So how do you shape your belief system in a way that builds reality instead of destroying it? You start by feeding your mind with possibility. What you see, hear, and speak every day either strengthens your belief or poisons it. If you consume negativity, if you constantly speak defeat or surround yourself with people who only focus on limits, then your belief system will shrink and so will your life. But if you feed your mind with affirmations of faith, surround yourself with people of vision, and declare words of victory, your inner belief will expand. And when it expands, your life expands. Belief also grows through action. Every time you take a step toward your goal, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that what you desire is possible. It doesn't matter if the step is perfect. What matters is that you moved. Progress fuels belief, and belief fuels more progress. That is the cycle of accomplishment. And once that cycle gains momentum, it becomes unstoppable. Understand this, you are not limited by the size of your dream, but by the size of your belief. If you can believe for it, you can achieve it. If you can see it in your mind's eye and hold on to that vision with conviction, then your reality will eventually align with your belief. The reason is simple. Your thoughts create decisions, your decisions create actions, and your actions create outcomes. And all of it begins in the soil of belief. So today, take a moment and examine your beliefs. Ask yourself, what do I really believe about myself, about my future, about what's possible for me? Because until you confront your hidden beliefs, you cannot rise beyond them. Your belief system is like the thermostat in a room. It sets the temperature of your life. You may have moments of excitement where things heat up, but unless you change the thermostat of belief, your life will always return to the setting you secretly hold in your mind. Belief shapes reality. That's not just a motivational phrase, it's a spiritual and psychological law. Change what you believe and you change what you see. Believe bigger and life will rise to meet your expectations. Never forget, the greatest limitations are not on the outside, but on the inside. And the moment you change what you believe about yourself, you will step into a reality that once seemed impossible. Would you like me to expand the next keynote side? Identity drives action, also into a 700-word speech in the same style. So you'll have a full series you can build into one powerful keynote speech. People don't rise to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of how they see themselves. It's not the vision on your wall or the plan in your notebook that determines your destiny. It's the picture you hold of yourself in your heart. You can set the biggest goals, write out the most detailed strategies, and dream about success every night. But if deep down you don't believe you are the kind of person who can achieve those things, you will never see them materialize. Your identity sets the ceiling for your success. This is why two people can start with the same resources, the same information, and the same opportunities, but one breaks through while the other stays stuck. The difference isn't in the goal because both had big dreams. The difference is in identity. One person saw themselves as capable, worthy, and destined for more, while the other quietly believed they were unworthy, unqualified, or unlucky. And identity always drives action. The way you see yourself dictates the choices you make, the risks you take, the standards you accept, and the effort you're willing to put in. Think about it. If a person sees themselves as a leader, they will step into leadership roles without hesitation. If a person sees themselves as a problem solver, they will run toward challenges with confidence. But if someone sees themselves as a victim, they will interpret every setback as proof that life is unfair and that they are powerless. Identity becomes the filter through which every circumstance is processed. That's why two people can face the exact same obstacle. One treats it as a stepping stone while the other treats it as a dead end. Your actions are always consistent with who you believe you are. That's why trying to change behavior without addressing identity rarely works. You can tell someone to save money, eat healthy, or build discipline, but if they see themselves as irresponsible, undisciplined, or weak, their actions will eventually fall back into alignment with that self-image. The goal may be noble, but the identity is weak, and identity wins every time. Real transformation doesn't happen when you force new actions. It happens when you embrace a new identity. The good news is that identity is not fixed. Just because you've seen yourself a certain way in the past doesn't mean you have to carry that self-image into the future. Identity can be rewritten, and when it shifts, results shift with it. You can decide to see yourself differently, and that decision will start to change the way you act. If you choose to believe that you are disciplined, even before the evidence appears, you'll begin to take actions that prove it true. If you choose to believe that you are worthy of success, you'll stop settling for less than what you deserve. The shift always begins on the inside, and the outside will follow. The challenge is that most people try to set goals that are inconsistent with their identity. They want to earn more money, but still see themselves as someone who struggles financially. They want to build meaningful relationships, but still carry an identity of rejection. They want to start a business, but still see themselves as someone who always fails. And when there is a conflict between your goals and your identity wins. Your actions will always bend toward who you think you are, not who you hope to become. So how do you reshape your identity? First, you must confront the lies you've believed about yourself. Many people are carrying identities that were handed to them by parents, teachers, or past experiences. They were told they were not smart enough, not strong enough, not good enough, and they accepted that as truth. But you are not who others said you were. You are who you decide to be. Identity is not inherited. It is created. Second, affirm your new identity daily. What you repeatedly say about yourself eventually becomes what you believe. Words shape belief, and belief shapes action. If you declare every day that you are disciplined, focused, and capable, your subconscious mind begins to align with that truth. Over time, your actions will begin to reflect the new identity you've claimed. Third, take a line to action even when it feels small. Nothing reinforces a new identity more than living it out. If you want to adopt the identity of someone who is consistent, then start by doing one small thing consistently every day. Each action becomes a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those votes accumulate into a new self-image, and that self-image drives bigger and bolder actions. Never forget this, your results are a reflection of your identity, not your goals. If you want to experience a breakthrough in your life, stop asking, what do I need to do? And start asking, who do I need to become? Because when you change your identity, the doing flows naturally. A millionaire doesn't just do different things. They think differently. They carry themselves differently. They see themselves differently. The wealth is a byproduct of the identity. Identity drives action, and action drives results. The fastest way to change your life is to change the way you see yourself. Stop identifying with your past, your failures, or your limitations. Begin to identify with your potential, your vision, and your divine purpose. When you shift identity, you don't just change your behavior, you change your destiny. Would you like me to expand the third keynote, focus and consistency create breakthroughs? In the same way, so I'll have a complete 3-part speech series. Success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things repeatedly until momentum makes success inevitable. Most people are not failing because they lack talent, opportunity, or intelligence. They are failing because they scatter their energy in too many directions, chasing every new idea, jumping from one plan to another, and never sticking with anything long enough to see it grow. Greatness doesn't come from frantic activity. It comes from focused consistency. Focus is the art of saying no to distractions so you can say yes to destiny. Life will always present 1,000 opportunities, but not all opportunities are meant for you. When you lack focus, you dilute your power. It's like sunlight. Spread out, it provides warmth, but when concentrated through a magnifying glass, it becomes fire. The same is true with your life. When you concentrate your energy on one direction, one calling, one vision, you create a fire so strong that it can cut through resistance. But focus alone isn't enough. Breakthroughs don't come just because you aimed in the right direction one time. They come when you show up again and again with discipline and consistency. Too many people quit right before the reward shows up. They plant seeds and then walk away because they don't see instant results. They work hard for a short time but lose patience when the harvest takes longer than expected. What they don't realize is that success is compounding. Small actions, repeated daily, accumulate until they produce something extraordinary. Think of the person who goes to the gym once. Nothing changes. But the person who goes 3 times a week for a year doesn't just change their body, they change their lifestyle. It wasn't one workout that created the breakthrough. It was the consistency of showing up